Over the past few days, the country has been washed by torrential rains. The hills responded to the drenching and landslides, roads were inundated, some rendered impassable, and several communities and homes have been severely affected by floodwaters. It's Wednesday, May 17. On Jamaica Magazine, I'm Adrian Atkinson, reminding you to keep safe. Remember that we are not too far out from the hurricane season, which starts June 1 and ends November 30. Know your shelters and emergency contacts. Be prepared to move out of your home in case of a threat. Keep documents safe and have necessary medication and food supplies at hand. It's never too early to start preparing for the hurricane season. Later, a look at how telecommunications is revolutionizing the agricultural sector. But first, the news.
Good day, I'm Stephen McHugh, and this is your JIS News for Wednesday, May 17. Prime Minister Andrew Holness today toured areas worst affected by this week's flood rains after returning to the island Tuesday night. The Prime Minister, who was on an official visit to the Dominican Republic, ended his assignment early as the impact of weeks of inclement weather was exacerbated by more flood rains Monday night into Tuesday morning. Mr. Holness toured sections of St. Anne's, Clarendon, St. Mary, and Portland. He also reviewed the situation in Sunnyside, St. Catherine, where 30 people had to be rescued, as well as Glengoff, where the road was cut off.
But the government is responding. The team from the Ministry of Labour and Social Security is on the ground. They're doing the assessment, and assistance will be given. The assistance may not be able to restore everyone to their former state, but it will be sufficient to get people back on their feet.
Ahead of Mr. Holness's return, Minister Horace Chang, who was acting in his absence, said government would give a more detailed review of the effects of the weather systems by Friday. He was addressing a press conference at Jamaica House Tuesday afternoon.
As the weather clears, of course, the magnitude of the damage will be assessed, and that is something we'll have to discuss with Minister of Finance, but the government is prepared to take the required steps to restore normalcy throughout. We are currently on the road evaluating what is happening, and the National Works will, of course, take steps in conjunction with the agencies to ensure that there is continued access to the various communities.
Dr. Chang says accounts of damage so far are cause for serious concern, including reports of inundated roads and farmlands, flooded communities, impassable roadways, and washed-away bridges in several parishes. By all accounts, Clarendon appears to be most severely affected.
Reports from the work agencies suggest flooding in the south of the parish in particular, Banks, Sedge Pond, Water Lane, Fogo Road, McGilchrist Pen, Alley Bridge becoming impassable overnight. The River Mindanao Spate has overflowed its banks in several sections of northern Clarendon, causing severe damage in many communities. There are two significant bridges in particular, I think, in Clarendon that have been damaged. Those communities will have to be addressed as a matter of emergency as soon as we get the opportunity to do so.
In the meantime, the flood rains have forced 11 residents from St. Catherine to seek refuge at 3 of 4 shelters opened in the parish. Director General of OPM, Major Clive Davis, told JIS earlier today that 4 persons were being housed at the Linstead Primary School, 6 at the Bullet Tree Shelter, and 1 person at Gregory Park Primary. He also reported that of the 9 shelters opened in Clarendon yesterday, none of them have since been occupied. OPM has also released a situation report revealing that 10 children and a male who were among the 30 persons rescued in Sunnyside, Linstead have been hospitalized. There is no word yet on the status of their conditions. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health is reporting that all hospitals across the island were reopened and in full operation today. The ministry reported a staff turnout of 80 to 100% for nurses and 95% for doctors at the island's hospitals. As it regards health centers, the Bohemia Health Center is the only such facility that remained closed in the Northeastern Regional Authority up to news time. Almost half of the 32 health centers in Clarendon were opened, while all health facilities in St. Elizabeth and Manchester were in operation. Those in the Southeast Regional and Western Regional Health Authorities also welcomed patients today. Education Minister Ruel Reid is urging students who missed their CXC exams on Tuesday to report difficulties to their respective schools. Schools in all parishes except Westmoreland, Hanover, and St. James were closed yesterday, but instructed to keep their examination centers open for those sitting the external exams. Minister Reid says that while most were accommodated, there are reports of a few students in Portland and other areas who missed their exams.
The procedure for students who have missed their exams would be that they would have to report to the school directly, and we'll send a report to CXC, and CXC will make a determination as to what remedy they are likely to offer. There are usually two remedies. Either we do a supplementary paper, depending on how many students across the island would have been affected, and the other alternative would be to use internal grades and forecast grades.
Most schools reopened today upon the advice of the Met Service. The National Environment and Planning Agency, NEPA, is urging the public to exercise extreme caution in areas close to swamps, rivers, gullies, and known crocodile habitats, as the reptiles are likely to be displaced from the recent rainfall. NEPA is urging persons to report crocodile sightings to 1-888-991-5005, 754-7540, or 580-7993. Persons can also call the agency's WhatsApp line at 819-6372 or 119. The public is being reminded not to provoke crocodiles, as these sensitive creatures may become defensive if cornered or attacked. Crocodiles are one of Jamaica's many endangered animal species and are protected under law. Individuals found guilty of possessing, hunting, killing, capturing, or willfully molesting a crocodile may be charged a maximum fine of $100,000 or face 1 year imprisonment. And finally, forecasters are predicting that the weather conditions currently affecting the island will subside by Friday. Director of the Meteorological Service, Evan Thompson, says most of the activity from the trough that had been dumping the heavy rains has started to move off the island.
However, we are still in the general area of that trough, and it is interacting at the same time with another system, which is a frontal system that is more toward the north. As we move toward Thursday, we should see even less in terms of the rainfall, where on Friday we expect that conditions will be getting back to what we consider to be normal at this time.
The Met Office's 3-day forecast is for widely scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms across most parishes on Thursday, while mostly eastern and central parishes should be affected on Friday. Saturday may bring scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stephen McHugh. Thanks for watching.
Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. Keep we island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it.
No dash no paper, no dash no plastic. Dispose your garbage responsibly. No know how to recycle, learn it quick. And if you drop it, better pick up every piece of it. Plastics last forever, don't forget the bits. Cause when them touch the street, them end up in the sea. Collect pan the reef where they fish them feed. And when you want seafood, I eat your eat.
Keep the island clean, so clean. From the peaks to the beach, so clean. No dirty up Jamaica, please don't do it. No dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica, no dirty up Jamaica.
If technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, what is more hands-on than agriculture? In this feature, we hear more on how the government is fertilizing the agricultural sector with technology.
The Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries is looking to employ the use of drone technology in the agriculture sector to provide useful data to drive production and productivity. Collaborating with the local company DNC Drones, Minister without Portfolio J.C. Hutchinson held a demonstration with farmers in Low River, Trelawney in August. It showed the farmers that the drones will be able to assess damage to their sector from natural disasters such as a flood and help them identify measures to boost crop yield.
What we are looking for the drone to do is that once we have crop damage after a hurricane or flood, we usually find that when the estimates come in, we find that the estimates are not usually correct, because many of the extension officers can't reach the areas where the damage is. With the drone, we are able to go over and identify all the crops, all the animals that have been lost, and bring back the picture within a day.
Director of DNC Drones Nigel Davies said this type of drone technology is called precision agriculture,
which basically is collecting data in real time, analyzing that data, and then interpreting data to advise the farmer as to the status of his crop, which is basically his nutrient contents in his crop, the moisture content in his field, and how much he has. Because this technology can also count the number of hills of yam, potato plants, tomato plants in the field. We can assess, let's say, the number of animals that died. We can measure that. We can tell you that, wait a minute, that these guys had 20 acres of yam here, and we knew that 6 months ago it was 50 hills of yams. We now can say he lost 50 hills of yams. So the drone technology is used widely in disaster management.
Other benefits of the drones include giving a clear picture of crops under production and identifying areas with irrigation needs and crops that are lacking in nutrients.
We have what we call a multispectral camera, which is this little camera on this particular drone, and it takes pictures of the plants. As you well know, plant leaves basically absorb sunlight and reflect sunlight. So this is a special camera that rejects infrared or near infrared, and then it can use that data using an algorithm to tell us how much nitrogen, how much potassium, how much phosphorus, or the lack thereof in a plant. We also can tell you the moisture content in the field.
Now, if that can be done, we will be able to tell the farmer what needs to be done with his different crops. And with that, we are looking at seeing how we can not only increase production, but we can increase productivity. So with the technology, we are looking to see if we can bolster agriculture.
The drone demonstration in Trelawney is the first of an island-wide campaign by the Agriculture Ministry to sensitize farmers about the benefits of the technology.
We feel that it can be able to counteract predial larceny in a certain way, and we are going to see how we can get it going so that we are able to counteract predial larceny for the farmers.
We can identify cows or any animals, as the case may be, that may be hidden anywhere. Let's say, for example, Master Storm. You know Master Storm only have 5 goats in his field, but all of a sudden, in the backyard, he might have another 10. We can survey that area and identify the number of cows or goats, as the case may be, using our thermal imaging camera. We can't solve the problem, but we can aid in recovery of animals or monitor a man's farm. Minister, we're going to work with you and try to streamline the technology to ensure that we can attain that goal.
I think the drone is going to make a big difference as far as us moving forward in agriculture. I want to see a revolutionization of agriculture in this country.
When I didn't like school and Mommy used to have to wake me up. Tabla, hurry up. You're going to be late for school.
Hey, now that I have a tablet, you don't need to wake me up. Since Mommy and Daddy bought me a tablet, I use my tablet for all kinds of cool stuff. I use my tablet to read books. I use my tablet to learn about history and science. I use my tablet to help with my homework. I even use it to talk to my daddy at work.
Learning is easy and fun with a tablet. Take care of your tablet. Use it wisely.
The employment phase of the HOPE program is now in full effect. Some 130,000 unattached youth 18 to 24 years old are expected to benefit from the program. Though employment is a key component of the initiative, Prime Minister Andrew Holness believes it will also lead to a more secure Jamaica.
If we are going to make any step change in the level of violence, the level of deviance, the level of crime in our society, we must make an impact on that cohort of youngsters, because it is that cohort that is the victim of most of the violence in the country. But unfortunately, it is that cohort that actually produces most of the violence in the country. So this is not just an employment strategy, a production strategy. This is how we intend to really make transformational changes to our society as well, especially as it relates to crime and violence.
And here's a look into how the Ministry of National Security's Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, is creating opportunities for individuals with this vision in mind.
Fly like eagles, soar like they don't know.
I am Charmaine Doyle Clark, and I am a records clerk.
Daniel Flaneur, and I am a training assistant.
Serena Brown, and I am a maintenance technician.
I am Pierce Amos, and I'm a financial transaction processor.
Men and women who have been changed through the Citizen Security and Justice Program, CSJP, which uses a multi-sectoral approach to crime fighting. The program, which began in 2001 under the Ministry of National Security, has made job skills and entrepreneurship training more accessible for at-risk youth through their labor market attachment and employability program.
I remember was the so long ago, we had a one-room shack and the living was low.
Regular corporate Jamaica might not be so willing to embrace our youngsters because of certain negative stigmas that are attached to them. However, what the CSJP does, we take them through a suite of positive engagements, trainings, internships to get them ready for the workforce. Since 2010, over 18,000 youngsters have benefited from this component, whether it be from vocational skills training, employment internships, job placements, even tuition support.
These four are among the many who have benefited tremendously from the Employment Internship Program, EIP.
A lot of these persons were unemployable. They didn't have the necessary communication skills. For example, how they answered the telephone was inappropriate. The dressing was also inappropriate. A lot of them were shy and afraid to come out and speak openly. And I realized after the exposure, be it through the workshops or the internship program, they became more confident in going out there and meeting people and doing their job.
Well, I received training in secretarial management, and also this so far it has helped me to become more dependable, more organized, more focused, and it also helped me to, further my education to be a better worker in the Ministry of National Security.
I would like to say to CSJP, thanks a lot for giving me this opportunity, becoming a young man that I never was 2 years ago, and learning how to become a man, learning how to accept society as it is, and helping me to understand what the work world feels like.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful and thankful for the CSJP program, because if it wasn't for this, if it wasn't for it, I don't think I would be able to be in a setting like this.
Some of the things that he has done, like for example, as a training section, we deal with all training for the staff at Staten, and one part of that is overseas training. And so we have a lot of forms to fill out, but he has also looked at forms that we have had and have come to me with ideas, and he have changed the form and upgraded the form. I did not ask him to do that. We couldn't ask a better worker.
You have the skill, but you don't have any experience. So coming here as an intern, working for about 8 months was great, because I've learned to do every single thing. And I attached myself, I was attached to each tradesman, and that's how I began to learn all the different trade areas. here at the British High Commission.
Working with Serene is very interesting because Serene don't just do electrical here. Serene is on everything. So if painting is going on, Serene is on painting. Carpenter work is going on, is on carpentry. And if I should go back to choosing an institution, I'd probably look for CSJP to put me on that path.
Youths who don't have a job, youths who may have a skill but are unemployed, CSJP is that organization that seek out to reach out to that individual, helping them to know that, hey, I can allow you to get some amount of apprenticeship. I don't think I could have done it without God and CSJP.
We found that youngsters who have benefited from our program have been also appreciative of what the CSJP has done for them. Many of them have said that CSJP has literally saved their lives. So we know that what we have at the CSJP is quite a robust, quite a comprehensive and a transformational program.
For more information on the work of the Citizen Security and Justice Program, call 906-9644, 786-0338-9 or 979-2597. You may also visit their website at csjp.gov.jm or follow them on Facebook and Twitter.
Success is my destination.
The Citizen Security and Justice Program, transforming lives through social intervention.
I stay in it to win it, never quit it cause I'm focused. Every opportunity I get, I never waste cause I'm a champion, I'm a fighter, I'm a...
Incarcerated, but not totally incapacitated. Paying their debt to society while getting the skills to be productive citizens once they are released from behind those prison walls. To support this, Minister of State for National Security Senator Pernell Charles Jr. is on a drive to transform the Department of Correctional Services DCS.
Pleasure to meet you. Pleasure to meet you all.
Taking the time to walk and talk with the stakeholders at the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center, understanding their challenges and crafting practical solutions.
Rise to the occasion, look at yourself and say you're strong. No one can stop you, oh, yeah. Rise to the occasion, go ahead, you know you're strong.
The days of the correctional facilities being third or fourth in line are over.
And with that declaration, the State Minister says the welfare of correctional officers is at the top of his to-do list. Part and parcel of that is ensuring a comfortable working environment, one in which stakeholders have the tools required to rehabilitate inmates. Available resources will be put to good use and partnerships with the private sector cemented to fix the poor physical infrastructure of correctional centers.
Where we can't have a brand new facility, we may be able to make an assessment of what needs to be modified, what may need to be abandoned, the places that will have to be restored.
The needs of the mentally challenged are equally important, and to address overcrowding, the reclassification of inmates is still on the books.
If we are able to properly reclassify inmates, then we may find that some of the inmates that are here may be able to be diverted elsewhere, and it will give us more room to manipulate how we would restructure the facilities.
Steps will also be taken to ensure that inmates have enough information about what is happening, so those who are released back into society are able to adjust quickly.
A big part of the knowledge in today's world is right here.
It's very important.
Right here. You agree? Right here. And so it's one of the things that we see as very critical, and we'll be looking on it and we'll be evaluating how we can better it for you.
Understaffing is another major concern. A review of the DCS's organizational structure will fully address that issue. In the interim, new recruits will begin training in May.
We are in the process of recruiting 300 officers, and that is to replace persons who have been severed from us.
While those talks continue, Senator Charles wants stakeholders to see the DCS as part of government's growth agenda.
We are talking about ways to make our institutions self-sufficient. We are speaking about mechanisms that can be implemented here to make you have the facilities to do cultivation of colorloo, of eggs, of things that will have multiple impacts of reducing the cost, giving us more revenue to divert to the things that you're speaking about.
During the tour of the Tower Street Adult Correctional Center, Senator Charles also responded to questions and listened to suggestions from correctional officers.
I believe correctional officers are underpaid. We need more salary. So please use your office and see what you can do for us.
I wouldn't be foolish enough to make commitments that I can't live up to. But I will say to you that I will be agitating at every platform that I am given an opportunity to. And the basis of my agitation will be to demonstrate what is being done at the correctional institutions, to demonstrate the importance of the job that you do here, and to show where that extra salary would be justified.
Sports is used as a medium to help in our rehabilitation. We have 3 main sporting disciplines, and those are football, cricket, and domino. From time to time, it's a challenge to procure equipments and gears and refreshment and trophies and so on. We are seeking help in that regard as well.
Our officers, some go to college and all things. If we could set a situation where after work, there's a place we can stop, go on an internet service, and carry out our functions of studying. More than we have officers have to be absent sometime, taking time. They'll be right here. You have the service of them at any time.
We are going to sit down, we're going to have more conversations about how we will let you know that you're valued, and how we intend, through listening to you and your recommendations, to put together that formula.
That formula or plan of action is a work in progress. When finalized, it will solve issues relating to the welfare of correctional officers who are working tirelessly to transform the lives of those behind prison walls while keeping the wider society safe.
Don't forget, Labor Day is Tuesday, May 23. Come out in your numbers, make your contribution, and let's build Jamaica. Today's show has come to an end, but the information from the JIS is always at your fingertips. Visit our website, jis.gov.jm, follow us on Twitter at JIS News, or like our Facebook page. Got feedback and comments on today's show? Send us an email, Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. On behalf of all of us here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.